Hey everyone, it's Dina. In today's video, I want to show you how you can create a rainbow in Silhouette Studio V4 using the drawing tools and the color fill, and it's going to be really simple, and I hope that you enjoy this. So this is what our end result is going to look like right here. So let's just get rid of this text here, and we're going to pull this off to the side. And the first thing that I want to do is talk about what tools that we're going to use today. And on the left toolbar, we're going to use this circle or ellipsis drawing tool, or ellipse, excuse me. And on the right side, towards the end, we're going to use the modify panel, which is over here on the right toolbar. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is draw a circle, and our first circle is going to be 8 inches. Now when you want to draw a perfect circle, you want to hold the shift key down and then just draw out your circle. And you can make it as big or as small as you like. What I like to do is get that basic shape on my workspace and then just go up and key in my dimensions. So if it's a perfect circle, it's going to be 8 by 8. So I can see right here my height and width is 8 by 8 because it's a locked parameter. Alright, so the first thing that we want to do now is fill this with color. And we're going to remove the line color from this. And now we're going to replicate this shape and then resize it for each color that you see here in this rainbow example over on the left side. So your key stroke combos that you're going to use is Control C for copy. Now you can paste it with Control V, or use Control F as in Frank, and it will be pasted in the front. You know, it's a little confusing, but I promise there's 2 circles there. Alright, so what I did was Control C to copy the red, Control F to paste it in the front, and that's just a shortcut for Silhouette Studio. Okay, let me just line those back up. Now, our first circle is 8 inches, and then our orange circle I want to be 7.5. So I'm just going to go up and key that in. So now you can see there's our orange, and then there's our red. Now we're going to select both of these. So make sure that you've got both of them selected. And we're going to do a Control C and a Control F again. Okay, now the next step is we're going to shrink these down just a little bit so that we can see those layers. And what I want you to do on your keyboard, hold the Alt button and the Shift key together, grab a corner handle, and then drag it in. And you can see that it's resizing it, but it's keeping it centered. Okay? Now it doesn't matter how big or small you make that, as long as you can start to see the next layers of color. So we've got our red layer, our orange layer. We're going to pick this next red layer, and we're going to color that yellow. So use this quick access toolbar, far upper left corner, find yellow, and then click on it. And we're going to click on the topmost. We're going to make that green. And you can see that we have the starting lines of our rainbow. Okay, now we've got blue and purple, or blue and indigo, however you want to call that. And we're going to click on the green layer. I want you to hold Shift and click on the yellow layer, and we're going to do a Control C, a Control F. Okay, so that's going to put it on top. Now we're going to hold Alt and Shift together again, and then drag that handle in until you can see those layers. Okay, now pick this second yellow, and we're going to make that our blue color, and then this green is going to be our purple. Okay, and we're going to do one more circle. So Control C, Control F. Now hold Alt and Shift and draw that in. It doesn't look like it did anything, but it will in just a moment. We're going to change that circle to white. Okay, so now we should have all of our colors here represented in this example on the left, plus a white layer. Now, we weren't really too concerned with the sizes of this because you can always go back and you can change that to however you like it. So, our red layer should be 8 inches. So when we click on that, we can see 8 is up here in the height by width, but it also shows us in these bounding boxes here. Orange, we want that to be 7.5. And now we're going to drop that down a 1/2 inch each layer of color. Okay? So our yellow will be 7. So all I'm doing is keying in the value and then just pressing enter afterwards. Our green will be 6.5. Our blue will be 6. Our purple will be 5.5. And our white will be 5. Okay? Alright, now we're going to group everything but that white layer together for our colors. Alright, so just drag over everything, hold Shift, and then click on the white circle, and then that's going to deselect it. So that's kind of my trick for quickly selecting something that with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 items. So I'll select everything, and then I'll hold Shift, and I'll click on the items that I don't want selected. Now we're going to group that. So right click and group. Alright. Now our next step is using the drawing tools again. So over on the left hand side, click on your square. Now we're going to draw a rectangle, and it doesn't really matter the length of it or the width of it, but how tall it is definitely matters. So what we want is this rectangle to be 4 inches tall. And in this instance, we want to make sure that we unlock this here, the aspect ratio, because we don't really need the other one to change. We just want 4 for the height. And you can see that that changed it down here. Now what I want to do is I want to center everything together, center aligned, and I want to make sure that my box and my grouped rainbow colors are bottom aligned. Okay. Now, also make sure that make sure that your white is centered in your series of circles here. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to fill this box with white color. So now you can see the end result is we're getting really close here. So now take your mouse and select your rectangle that you just drew. Hold Shift, click on the white circle, and now we're going to weld those together. And you have 2 places that you can do this. You can use the quick access toolbar and click on the icon for weld, or you can right click and choose weld. Okay, so it's whatever you're most comfortable with, whatever is easiest for you to do. Now what you can do is pull that white layer away to see what you did. Alright, now just do Control Z as in zoo to undo that. Now, you're going to select everything that you've got on your workspace, and in that modify window, if you don't have that panel open, go over to the right toolbar and click on this icon right here. And what you want to do is select everything like you see on the screen here, and then click subtract. And what that does is it creates your rainbow. So now you have individual layers to cut. And then when you line them up, you'll line them up using the innermost lines and the bottom of the previous color when you're pressing. So I'm hoping that makes a little bit of sense there. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Now, of course mine is off a little bit, but it's just computer, it's not a real thing. So you can see how you can easily line those up once you've got them cut. Just make sure that when you are pressing these that you know, you use those same rules that apply for any layered or multicolor design. Use very few seconds, like 4 to 5 seconds for each layer. Make sure you use a parchment paper or something to protect that previous layer as you're adding the next one and the next one. That way you don't burn the vinyl underneath that you've already pressed. And then when you get to your final layer and you've got everything ready to go, that's when you give it that full press of 15 to 20 seconds or however long the instructions say to do. And that's how you make your rainbow. Now if you have any other questions or anything, feel free to leave a comment, and I hope you found this helpful. Thanks guys.